What is up, guys? It's Wednesday, and that means it's paintball question time! Questions this week: Magfed or pump? Should the NXL switch to limited paint? And the best training paintballs. Alan Pohl asks, I've been playing paintball about 3 years. I have a good electronic gun, but I want to try out pump or Magfed. Which would you suggest? My vote is pump. I think that's because it's kind of just something you're used to, whereas magazine-fed guns are way, way different. We gotta think, when you're switching over to pump, if you're using like traditional paintball gun like you kind of said you have, it's gonna be more of a similar and like feeling you're used to, I guess. Really, much of the difference is just gonna be that you're pumping it and shooting. You don't have to worry about magazines and all that stuff like you do with mag-fed guns. Pump, you're still gonna have like normal trigger frame kinda, tanks about the same place. All this stuff is gonna be fairly similar. You're just pumping and shooting less. Whereas Magfed to me is where we're gonna see probably the biggest difference in all of these paintball guns, right? I mean, you have guns that are shaped completely different. You have like stocks and like these crazy foregrips and carrying handles and barrel shrouds and gas blocks and all this stuff. And you have to worry about magazines. You're only getting like 10 to 20 shots. It's just gonna be much more different than like pump would. But that's really just kind of a preference thing. I mean, I would personally choose pump just because I don't want to deal with magazines, but if that's something you think you like, go for it. But like I said, I think pump's gonna be something that's a little bit more familiar to you, so maybe you fall into it and like it a little bit more. Maybe you hate paintball and you're just looking for a change, and maybe Magfed's that thing. I don't know, try them both? OC Ewok asks, do you think the NXL should put a limit on pods? 3 or 5 pods. It seems like guys are just throwing unlimited paint down fields. I think it would definitely change the strategy. I do. This is not like a new hot take like Brad's crazy theory about limited paint. This has been something I have talked about before. Yeah. First, what are the pros of using unlimited paint? Really, mainly, I think 2 things. Player-wise, it's just fun to shoot a lot. I mean, it's just fun to start shooting and never stop. Manufacturer, industry-wise, they get to sell you a lot of paint, which I guess is good for paintball, kinda. Really, those are the only 2 pros I see to it. It's fun to shoot a lot, and then the industry gets to sell you more paint. And then the pros for limited paint is overall cost can be lower. For tournaments, the cost can definitely be reduced. At tournaments, you're just gonna shoot less, right? I mean, we're gonna play the same amount of games, but just reduce the amount of paint you can shoot, so overall paint cost, at least for tournaments, would be lower. I think for practices, like it could be less or about the same, because you can either run the same amount of points and just shoot less paint, or you could run more points and shoot the same amount of paint. Practices, you could kind of take that either way. It could be cheaper or remain the same. But tournaments would definitely be cheaper, just paint bills would be less. One of the main arguments of having a limited paint format is increasing movement. I know in the Millennium they did limited paint, but I don't know if it necessarily facilitated more movement. I think the main thing that we've seen in the last couple years that has really helped facilitate movement is having that big, huge center W bunker. And now the NXL is getting rid of the W, I think we might see slower games. The W is just so big, you could get to the W and then shoot guys really quick on the other team, and then you'd be up 3 bodies and then the games would end quicker. I think if we go to a smaller center bunker, you're not gonna get as many quick kills anymore, and then games will slow down and guys will just start shooting a bunch of paint. So reducing the amount of paint could help facilitate more movement. Limited paint, I think, also kind of brings back more of the skill aspect of this whole paintball thing. It makes running and shooting more important. You gotta have a good snapshot, and you're just gonna be like an all-around better paintball player. You can't just like sit and shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot and like shoot 9, 10 pods at a gap and hope someone runs through it. It'll get rid of bounce shots, so no more bounce shots. A lot of people don't like bounce shots. I think bounce shots are kind of fun and kind of bad. They're cool when you can shoot someone with a bounce shot, awful when you get shot with one. One of the things I end up talking to new players about a lot is when they see like tournaments and they're like, God, they just shoot and shoot and shoot and never stop. It seems so stupid and wasteful. And yeah, they're right. So I do think maybe that first impression of tournament paintball might be a little bit better. We might like draw in more people just because they don't think it's as dumb and just like constantly shooting. So maybe that limited paint, they'd find more appealing. In the short term, yeah, the manufacturers would sell less paint to individual people. The argument to that is you would increase players. I don't know if that's necessarily true. But at least that's the argument with like people saying the paint companies would make less money. So I really have no idea what the NXL have planned, and I don't even think at this point they know. But I do think with NXL Europe, they will definitely stick with that limited paint format. In Europe, paintball tends to be a little bit more expensive, and I think unlimited paint is a little bit prohibitive to some of those players. So having that limited paint format, I don't know, works better in Europe. At least it has so far. dyejimmy asked, what are your thoughts on training paintballs? What do you think are the best and most consistent rubber training paintballs? Definitely the real reball stuff. So right now, let's say the most popular reusable paintballs are gonna be the Gen X Z-Ball, there's like a laser ball, there's Reball, and then there's that new Atom 6 stuff. So when I've used that Z-Ball or the laser ball stuff, I found that it was kinda inconsistent and wasn't weighted that well. It wasn't really close to like the true weight of a paintball, so the velocity was kind of erratic, and you'd get a lot of them that would like zing off and shoot all crazy. And when I've used the real Reball, which some of it I have, it just shoots pretty straight, and the velocity is more like true and consistent like a regular paintball is. So I would definitely say out of the like realistic stuff, definitely Reball. There's also that new Atom 6 stuff. I got some of that recently, but I don't really see like why a regular paintball or real paintball player would want to use it. It doesn't shoot far at all, mainly just because the velocity's so low. Like you put it in a gun that's shooting 300 with regular paint, and then you put this Atom 6 stuff in and it's going like 130, and it's not accurate. Like when I was trying to shoot a target that was like 20 feet away, it took me like 5 or 6 shots to actually hit the thing. So the velocity's so low and it's not accurate. So I feel like pretending and like snap shooting with the stuff inside, while yeah, you could work on your form or whatever, but it's not really that usable for like accuracy or target shooting. So I am definitely gonna say the best stuff for indoor training or the reusable paintballs is definitely gonna be the branded Reball. Paintball question time is over. To have your question read here on Paintball question time, just leave a comment below or use hashtag PBQT on like Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, MySpace, Baidu, whatever it is. I'll track it down and possibly answer it here on PBQT. Check out more Paintball question times right there. Hit the circle and subscribe, or help Paintball Ruin My Life grow by hitting that square box.